You know that feeling, right? If you're watching this, there's a really good chance you're just exhausted. And I don't just mean you need a quick nap. I mean you're mentally drained, scattered, and you feel like you're constantly running on empty. Trust me, you are definitely not the only one feeling this way. In our modern world, we're basically bombarded 24/7 by constant noise, endless notifications, and completely chaotic schedules. Our attention is totally fractured, and honestly, our bodies are paying a massive price for it. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to walk through some actual science-backed protocols that will literally act as a biological reset button for your tired nervous system. We're going to look at exactly how to reset your overstimulated brain. So, I want you to know we have a really clear, structured roadmap today to help you regain control of that fragmented attention. First, we'll cover, are you overstimulated or overwhelmed? Second, the science of sensory overload. Third, breath, the nervous system remote. Fourth, resetting your dopamine baseline. And finally, fifth, deep rest and brain cleansing. Okay, let's dive into this. It's time to validate those feelings of being constantly wired. Part 1. Are you overstimulated or overwhelmed? Identifying the source of your exhaustion. If you're constantly feeling on edge and just completely burnt out, it's absolutely crucial to correctly identify where that exhaustion is coming from. So I want you to pause for a second and genuinely ask yourself, are you overwhelmed or are you just overstimulated? To actually piece through the noise of your daily routine, you really have to know what you're fighting against. People toss these words around like they mean the exact same thing, but biologically, they are completely different animals. Here's the key difference. When you're overwhelmed, you're dealing with an internal, emotional, and cognitive overload. Think of it like the stress from a looming deadline at work, or some deep, heavy emotional worry. It's happening inside. But being overstimulated, that's an external sensory overload. It's your body's biological reaction to simply having way too much external input. We're talking too much noise, crazy bright lights, endless doom scrolling on screens, and packed crowds. Your brain is getting bombarded with literally more information than it can handle at once. As we look at these signs of overstimulation, I want you to do a really quick body scan with me right now. Are you experiencing a racing heart? How about your jaw? Are you clenching your teeth right now? Do you have chronic fatigue, brain fog, or feel that classic wired but tired vibe? Any digestive issues? Trouble relaxing? Well, these are literal, physical signs that your sympathetic nervous system is currently locked into fight or flight mode. Your body is pumping out stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol as if you're in physical danger. And it's all just because of excessive sensory input. All right, let's shift gears and pick up the pace a bit to match that racing brain. Part 2, the science of sensory overload. What is happening inside your brain? Let's zoom in on the biology here and see exactly what's going on up there to cause all this chronic stress. A huge player in this is dopamine. It's the brain's core reward and motivation chemical. Dopamine is what drives our attention. But unfortunately for us, our modern world has essentially engineered a constant state of hyperarousal. Every single text message, every social media refresh, every tiny ping creates a little dopamine spike. It literally hijacks the exact same neural pathways in your brain as addictive slot machines. Crazy, right? And that brings us to a really dangerous phenomenon called dopamine stacking. This is when we unconsciously layer multiple stimulating activities all at the exact same time. Think about it. You're chugging a highly caffeinated iced coffee while scrolling Instagram while a YouTube video plays in the background. We've actually trained our brains to switch focus every 8 seconds. Because of all this constant stimulation, absolute silence now feels dangerously uncomfortable to a lot of people. Distraction honestly feels safer than self-awareness. But here is the empowering part. Part 3, breath, the nervous system remote. Actionable, short-term biological hacks. You are not trapped in this cycle. You have the power to manually override this stress loop right here, right now. It sounds almost too simple to be true, but your breath is literally the remote control for your autonomic nervous system. And I'm not talking about some mystical woo-woo meditation concept. This is a literal, hardwired biological mechanism. By just changing how you breathe, you directly stimulate the vagus nerve. That helps shift your body out of that sympathetic fight or flight state and into parasympathetic activation, which is known as rest and digest. Let's walk through one of the absolute most effective tools for this. It's backed by neuroscience and heavily championed by Dr. Andrew Huberman. It's called the physiological sigh. I want you to try this with me right now. Okay, first, take a deep inhale through your nose. Now add a quick, sharp second inhale right at the top to completely fill your lungs. Got it? Finally, exhale really slowly and completely through your mouth. Doing this just 1 or 2 times immediately enhances your oxygen uptake, offloads carbon dioxide, and dramatically reduces your stress in real time. It's a total game changer.
Another incredibly powerful method is box breathing. This one is used by everyone from ER doctors to military special ops for grounding themselves under extreme pressure. It's super straightforward. You inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold that breath for 4, exhale gently for 4, and pause for 4 before you repeat. The visual structure of kind of tracing a box in your mind as you breathe actually trains your brain to tolerate stillness. That perfectly even rhythm lowers your blood pressure, drops your primary stress hormone, cortisol, and sends a massive signal of absolute safety straight to your body.
Okay, moving to part 4, resetting your dopamine baseline, medium-term habit changes for mental clarity.
So, breathwork is a fantastic short-term override, but to really, truly heal an overstimulated brain, we have to adjust our daily environments to recalibrate our completely frazzled reward systems. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole issue. We have to look at the molecule of more, dopamine. When we constantly bombard our brains with dopamine through excessive digital stimulation, it leads to dopaminergic overstimulation. That's what causes the procrastination, the massive mood swings, the absolute inability to focus, and that bone-deep fatigue. The cure? A dopamine detox.
Now, let me be super clear. A dopamine reset isn't about never having fun again or, staring at a blank wall all day. It's simply about lowering the noise. It's about removing the artificial, hyper-stimulating inputs for a little while so that your nervous system can remember what it actually feels like to just be normal. You're basically allowing your dopamine receptors to heal so that ordinary, everyday life becomes vivid and enjoyable again. So here are some really actionable ways to reduce the sensory input in your immediate environment and put a stop to that dopamine stacking. First, enforce a strict one audio source at a time rule in your house. Second, try switching to soft, diffused lighting in the evening. Harsh overhead lights totally suppress your melatonin. Third, engage in gentle, restorative movement, like a light walk or stretching to burn off built-up stress hormones. Fourth, try some brief cold exposure. Even just splashing freezing cold water on your face instantly activates a calming response. And finally, challenge yourself to complete just one single task, like eating a meal or taking a walk, without your phone. Just let your nervous system breathe a little. Let's move to and see how this builds into our final section, part 5, deep rest and brain cleansing. Long-term recovery for your brain. Because while daily habits absolutely matter, true restoration only happens in states of deep rest. When we compare daytime napping to a practice called non-sleep deep rest, or NSDR, we see a fascinating difference. Napping pushes you into actual sleep stages. That's great, but it can leave you feeling super groggy when you wake up. That's called sleep inertia. NSDR, on the other hand, involves guided relaxation techniques like body scans and slow breathing that put you in a state of wakeful, deep relaxation. You achieve a massive parasympathetic reset, you boost that vagal nerve activity, and you lower your heart rate, all without even falling asleep. It is a highly practical alternative for eliciting physiological calm when taking a full nap just isn't going to happen. But listen, when it comes to true long-term brain recovery, absolutely nothing replaces deep non-REM sleep. This is your brain's biological deep cleaning mode. During deep sleep, your neuronal firing drops way down. And get this, the physical spaces between your brain cells actually expand. This allows your glymphatic system to literally wash away the metabolic waste and neurotoxic proteins that built up while you were awake. If you're chronically overstimulated and sleep-deprived, this deep cleaning mode gets interrupted, and that is a fast track to severe brain fog and cognitive decline.
So the crucial point is this: doing nothing is actually highly productive for your nervous system. I know society conditions us to believe that we constantly need to be consuming information or outputting work 24/7, but for your brain, stillness is the actual medicine. Giving yourself permission to experience silence, or even just boredom, is exactly what recalibrates your baseline. If your daily routine feels dull, it's really not because life itself is boring. It's because your brain has lost its sensitivity to normal life due to that chronic overload. But you have the power to retrain your brain. You can regain your focus. So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Will you allow yourself the space, the silence, and the stillness to actually find depth in a distracted world? Take a deep breath, put the phone down, and start reclaiming your attention today.